So I would hope that my friend and I will go to the White House on Sunday. We will sit with the President of the United States, and we will be for a large deal that is euphemistically referred to as a comprehensive solution, so that we can, in fact, not in the short term, not temporarily, but on long term, bring fiscal discipline to the operations of our country. Our country needs that. I think the international community expects that of us. And if we don't do that, I tell my friend, I think we will not have fulfilled our oath of office to protect and defend the Constitution of the United States and serve the general welfare of our country and our people. In point of fact, we need change. And in point of fact, the American public, which has divided itself but would like us to come together, I'm hopeful that we do that. And my friend and I have had the opportunity to talk about this. We do have significant differences, but none of us can put something on the table and say, if you don't agree, I'm going to tank the economy. I'm going to have America default for the first time in its 200-plus years of history, if you don't agree and do it my way. I have said, the leader has said on this side, everything's on the table. We understand that you got to pay for what you buy, and we also understand we got to buy less. And we're prepared to do both. And in fact, we have agreed to do both in the Biden talks. Now, my friend knows, he talks about economists. The most successful investor in America, I think most people will agree, is Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett said we raised the debt ceiling 7 times during the Bush administration. And now in this Congress, under the Republicans, they're using it as a hostage. And you really don't have any business playing Russian roulette to get your way in some matter. We should, he said, be more grown up on that. To that extent, he echoed the comments of our Speaker, who is trying, in my opinion, to get to a place where we can come together, compromise as is critical under democracy, pay our bills, and reduce our obligations and reduce spending. Buffett went on to say we should, as I said, be more grown up on that. If we don't meet the August 2nd deadline, he observed, you're playing with fire when you don't need to play with fire. And we don't need to tell the rest of the world that any time people in Congress start throwing a tantrum, that we're not going to pay our bills. That is not responsible behavior. It's not adult behavior. It's not good for anybody in the United States of America. And it's not good for the international community. In fact, Senator Alan Simpson, who was referring to Tom Coburn, who has said, look, you got to have everything on the table, including, yes, revenues, yes, taxes. Some bard has said that the taxes are the price we pay for democracy. They should not be any higher than they need to be, but we ought to pay for what we buy. And if we don't, people don't want to pay for it, we ought not to buy it. Unfortunately, the reason we racked up $6 trillion of deficits during the Reagan and both Bush administrations is because we bought things and didn't pay for them. As you heard me say at the White House, we both parties, you weren't here, voted for some things and didn't pay for them. We got to stop that. That's why we put in place statutory pay go. But very frankly, you say, well, we've changed. You passed a budget that doesn't balance the budget for the next 27 years. You passed a budget. You voted for that. I didn't vote for that budget. Doesn't balance the budget for 27 years, almost 3 decades. Very frankly, I don't think that does it. That's why we went down to the White House yesterday, and almost everybody in the room said we need to do a comprehensive, disciplined, courageous, honest, principled resolution of doing what you say you want to do, that your party wants to do, and what I'm telling you, my friend, we want to do, because there is no option. We must bring this deficit down. We must, the debt we have confronting us is not sustainable. So I would urge my friend, and I want to congratulate Speaker Boehner, who at the White House said, look, we need to do this, and we need to have a comprehensive agreement. That's what democracy demands. I'm not going to agree with some of the things that are in that bill. You're not going to agree with some of the things that are in that bill, if in fact we pass a bill. But if we come together, if we act as adults, if we do what every responsible financial economist and advisor has told us we must do, then America will be pleased with us. But I tell my friend from Virginia, if we don't do that, if we continue to buy things that we don't pay for, and we continue to ask the people to get it for free, then, frankly, your children and my grandchildren and children and great-grandchildren will not be happy with us. And so I urge my friend, he and I will be going to the White House on Sunday. I urge him to come to the table, as I will come to the table, I tell him, with the understanding that compromise is essential, that the crisis that confronts us is real, and that America expects us to act in their best interest and have the courage, not the politics, not the ego, not the view of the next election, but the view of the long term as we come together and try to confront this issue for which all of us are responsible. No one party, no one member, all of us are responsible. But then again, if that is the case, we are all responsible for its resolution. One of the things I think that people are worried about is making sure that we act as adults, we act responsibly, we pay our bills, and we ensure that America does not default. All I'm going to say, and then I will close, that I hope that gentlemen and I can join together on Sunday and on every day thereafter between now and when we can resolve this issue so that we can pay our bills, stabilize our economy, and give what the gentleman talked a lot about in our colloquies when our positions were reversed. I remember those days. Talked a lot about, and that was competence. That was stability. The failure for us to, as we acted 7 times in the Bush administration to raise the debt limit, and I don't have the specific number, but more than that in the Reagan administration. And by the way, during the last 4 years of the Clinton administration, does the gentleman remember how many times we raised the debt limit?
I wasn't here.
0. 0. Why? Because for every one of those 4 years, we had a surplus, not a deficit, a surplus. And Mr. Greenspan was worried at the end of the Clinton administration that we were going to pay off the debt too quickly. And President Bush projected a $5.6 trillion surplus. So I tell my friend that the reason I look back is to not repeat the mistakes of the past. We didn't pay our bills. We paid our bills in the 90s. We started not paying our bills again. You jettisoned the statutory pay-go. You jettisoned it again, essentially. Not the statutory part, but the rule part. I would hope, again, I don't enjoy going back and forth on this, but I'm very concerned for my country. The Speaker said he wanted to solve this problem by June 30th. It's now July 7th. We haven't resolved it, and the country's waiting for us. So let us hope that all of us will not say, can't do this, can't do that, can't do the other. Let us go down to the White House on Sunday with the President, with the Senate, with the leaders of this House, and say, yes, we can. We can be responsible. We can be adults. We're going to get this done for the people. And I yield back the balance of my time.